Okay, Keith, you can take it from here.
Okay, great. Thanks, Wendy. Hopefully everyone can hear me fine. If not, please send a message in the chat window, and we'll take a look if there's any audio problems out there for you in the audience. Thanks for joining us today. My name is Keith Waldorf, and I lead the engineering team here at iPass. Today I'm going to talk about our new iPass SmartConnect platform, which leverages big data analytics and cloud technologies to deliver the best quality Wi-Fi roaming experience wherever you are in the world. So at iPass, we're deeply committed to enhancing the end user experience so that you get the best ROI on your investment. And towards that end, the iPass SmartConnect platform was developed in a number of improvements that we've made in the service over the last several months. We've increased our footprint to 53 million global hotspots around the world. We've had recent partnership announcements with DeviceScape and Fawn. We've added a new security feature, which is called one-time password, so users no longer have to remember or expose their password in order to connect. We've added several layers of security, which includes one-time password and last-mile VPN. And of course, we've launched the iPass SmartConnect platform, which creates the best Wi-Fi roaming experience available today. And to take advantage of all of these improvements, it does require that you're using the latest version of the iPass SmartConnect client. But all of these features and functionality are now available on Windows, Mac, iOS, and Android. So everyone here today is a customer of iPass, so I don't need to explain what iPass is, but I do think it would be helpful to give some context on how we are thinking about our vision for the service. Our goal is to offer global mobile connectivity that is unlimited, everywhere, and invisible. So I'll take a few minutes and explain what each of these mean to us. So iPass believes an employee's capability or productivity should not be limited because of limited accessibility to Wi-Fi. Wi-Fi connectivity should always be available like a dial tone. iPass makes it easy and affordable for its customers to live the unlimited philosophy by the way we package and price the offering and its cloud-based delivery. Everywhere is for the Wi-Fi experience to be unlimited. It has to be everywhere people go. It can't be limited by geography. iPass connects you in places around the globe, in airports, airplanes, hotels, cafes, trains, and communities with over 50 million Wi-Fi hotspots worldwide and growing. iPass connects you when you're on the move and wherever you are. We're always looking for a Wi-Fi connection that offers the best experience for the user. And lastly is invisible. Invisible implies that connecting to Wi-Fi and staying connected should be simple and automatic. Users should not have to think about or make any effort in making the connection. They shouldn't have to remember to enter credentials. They shouldn't have to read through network IDs and pick a relevant network. The connection should just happen. That's invisible. And iPass believes that in order to provide truly valuable service to our customers, we have to provide all three capabilities together. The solution is incomplete if any one of these things are missing. Our vision for unlimited, everywhere, and invisible connectivity means that you receive simple, secure, always-on Wi-Fi access on any mobile device. That access improves your productivity, secures your connections, and keeps your costs predictable. We now sell at iPass is an unlimited service package that means you can receive unlimited data on unlimited devices. That's no speed limits, no reduction in quality of service, no time limits, no usage limits. It's truly an unlimited service. We moved to an unlimited model because of two trends. One is stampede to the cloud, with every company moving to cloud-enabled services that require your users to be connected even when they're mobile, and because those users are becoming more mobile. Users need to connect wherever and whenever they are. Whether they're traveling or around town, they need the ability to connect instantly to cloud-based apps and access and share files. iPass now connects to Wi-Fi more than 53 million hotspots around the world. Our recent partnerships with DeviceScape and Fawn have brought in nearly 30 million additional hotspots. DeviceScape brings 20 million amenity Wi-Fi locations, and amenity Wi-Fi is when businesses or retail outlets provide complimentary access to their premises. And Fawn brings 9 million community hotspots. A community hotspot uses a Wi-Fi router that broadcasts 2 different network names, SSIDs, one for the private owner and another for the community members. By 2 broadcast IDs, the router is logically and securely separated between those 2 groups. An example of a community Wi-Fi network in the US is Xfinity Wi-Fi and Time Warner Cable as well. And behind the numbers, there's about 780 airports with 3,000 access points that are iPass enabled today. More than 2,700 airplanes are iPass enabled, with more than 700 on the roadmap for 2016. And I think we've added close to a dozen or so new carrier partners in the airline space. We have more than 800 trains, 20 million local businesses with open access and business hubs, 84,000 hotels and convention centers, and more than 30 million community hotspots. So this ties into our message of being everywhere. We recently added a new security feature which is called one-time password, which means end users no longer need to remember exposure credentials in order to use the iPass service. One-time password comes in the context of our effort to maximize efficiency for both end users and IT. For the end users, it's obviously easier when there's a corporate security requirement of changing your password every few months. If they haven't traveled during that time, they need to remember that they changed their password and update their iPass client so that they can authenticate and gain access to the Wi-Fi network. By using a one-time password, we remember the user's credential, the user account that they've authenticated with the first time, and we create a randomly generated, highly secure encrypted password that is used to authenticate that user through our network, and then we simply validate that user to make sure that they're still entitled to getting the Wi-Fi service from iPass, that they're still an active user with your company, and allows them to authenticate without having to remember a password. So we authorize the user for service, authorize them for use of the entitlement, and from then on we're just authorizing that the user is still active in your system. They're still an active user with your company. iPass also makes it really easy for the end users for all of the things we're talking about being unlimited. They don't need to worry about their expenses or their connectivity. They just gain access to that footprint. They don't need to look for a free hotspot because our analytics engine and our platform is growing rapidly, so we're trying to be everywhere our users are going. And they don't need to worry about exposing personal information in order to connect to a Wi-Fi network. And for the IT departments, we're working hard on making our deployments easy. We've integrated with several single sign-on providers from Okta, OneLogin, Azure, Ping Federated. We're trying to make it as easy as possible to get your users activated online and using the service, with minimizing calls to IT. One-time password helps remove that issue of I don't know my password, I can't log in, I can't get connected. And we have a lot of new APIs and services that we're providing online with our cloud-based hosted administration, hopefully cutting down on the need for extra resources to manage the iPass service. Really trying to become a full-service software as a service platform that is easy as just signing up and start using the service. And back to end user privacy and security, or to ensure privacy and security. We offer secure authentication and identity protection, everything going through our network is SSL encrypted, which means that during the authentication, credentials are passed from the device through the network, through our exchange, and protected by security that banks and other financial institutions use. And we also support the use of corporate VPNs. So our clients can connect back to your corporate network, and we'll go through some of our other security offers in a last mile VPN as well. And along with unlimited, everywhere, and visible, we wanted to make the pricing easier and a simplified pricing model for the company and for our customers. Right now, we make pricing simple. We have one flat fee per user per month. So your costs are predictable, no surprises, no overages, no overbilling or overusage of data that drives your budget out of compliance. Per price user drops as the number of committed user licenses grow. So if you're signing up thousands of users, your per month charge will go down per user. And centralized billing gives you visibility into your mobile connectivity costs. So we have full accounting and usage and call detail records tied into the usage so that you can account for the number of users that you're being billed for, the sessions, look at their data usage, and compare that against some of your roaming charges and some of your other network access fees. So now we'll jump into kind of the meat of what's new here at iPass, and that is iPass SmartConnect. So in our effort to provide all of these services of unlimited, everywhere, and invisible, especially the invisible part, that led us to create our patented iPass SmartConnect platform. The iPass SmartConnect platform leverages a big data analytics and cloud technologies to deliver the best Wi-Fi quality roaming experience wherever you are in the world. With iPass SmartConnect, we are creating the first real-time picture of the location and performance of Wi-Fi hotspots worldwide. The big data portion included in this global map is extremely valuable. As we know unequivocally where hotspots are, how they perform, and how devices are using them, and where our users are connecting. What you see here is a map of access points that iPass SmartConnect has identified since we launched the service in late December. And as you can see, many of the access points are out in the middle of the ocean. That's an indication of all of the in-flight services that we're leveraging as well. So how does iPass SmartConnect work? What we're doing is we're looking at the mobile scan list of the devices that are connected through our customers and our users, and we're identifying the footprint through a data ingestion process. And basically what we're doing is we're looking at this data completely anonymized, so there's no user data in here. But what we're doing is we're looking at the various attributes, the physical attributes of that Wi-Fi hotspot. We're looking at the SSID, we're looking at the signal strength, we're looking at the location of the device in relation to that access point, and we're using that to build what they call a network graph in the big data world. And think of that much like Facebook. So Facebook knows about you, Facebook knows about your friends and your friends' friends, and they connect all of those dots together. Same with LinkedIn. Those are all examples of graphs. And so what we're doing is we're building a Wi-Fi graph of the world around us and around our users. What this really helps us do is understand what is the quality of the network that our users are encountering, where are they encountering quality iPass networks or amenity curated free open networks, and where are users going where there's not an iPass option available, and where can we expand our network to be everywhere for that user. So the data ingestion is performed in real time, so we're making real-time decisions about what networks are available, what have we seen, what are our connection choices at this particular venue. We're able to analyze this scan list and network information, and based on historical connection success or failure, able to apply a ranking to this network so that for future attempts we can actually supply our client with a ranking of the networks and tell it to how to intelligently connect to the right network. And the biggest reason that we built this technology initially was to remove or dramatically reduce our false positives, which I'm sure many of you have had users comment on or faced yourself, where you go to a location that is broadcast as being iPass supported, but you're not able to connect there. Some change in the network, it could be a network outage from one of our suppliers, it could be that they made a change to the network that has broken our implementation, or it could be that it is a false positive. Someone is broadcasting an SSID that we thought was ours, and it in actuality is not our network, and we're not able to log in and connect there. It's frustrating for the user, it's frustrating for us, it's a bad user experience. So we've built the SmartConnect platform to really remove that dependency on basically a single factor of just looking at the SSID, just saying, hey, this says Marriott Guest, or this says, you know, Xfinity Wi-Fi. What we're now doing is we're taking all of the physical attributes that were sent in the data ingestion portion, and we're using those to identify that physical location in real time. So if that Marriott hotel is ours, we're going to positively identify it as being one of ours. We're going to promote it as such in our client and aggressively connect to it so that we can provide this invisible, seamless connectivity experience for that user. The user doesn't have to think about it. They'll become comfortable with the fact that iPass is just connecting me at the places where I need to be connected, and I don't have to worry about it anymore. And then what we're doing long-term with the analytics is helping us understand really what our usage patterns are, what are the network quality, the network locations, and our NAC allocation. So NAC stands for our network acquisition costs. So what iPass does to provide this everywhere service is we go out and we purchase access to Wi-Fi networks around the world. But if we add 10 million hotspots in China and you never travel to China, then the fact that we added 10 million hotspots in China doesn't really matter to you. You want the service to work where you travel, where you go, where you need to be connected. So the data helps us actually position the company in a place where we can analyze the data and make the correct decision on how to spend our money, which networks we need access to, which networks are going to provide the most value and the best connection experience for our users. So what does that mean for a customer of iPass? How can your end users benefit from the iPass Smart Connect? So again, looking to really organically curate hotspots where our users roam. This happens to be an image of Singapore, and these are the orange dots are the iPass hotspots. The blue dots, which may be a little bit hard to make out but are on the map, are the discovered hotspots, the curated hotspots. So in a matter of just a couple of months, when we launched the service back in December, we were able to find tens of thousands of hotspots in and around Singapore, be able to start create this network map, start to put a quality of service score onto these hotspots, and providing a better connectivity experience for our users. And again, this really takes the growth of our network to where our users are. And iPass SmartConnect also enables our Wi-Fi suppliers to optimize their network performance and costs. So how this works is here's an example of a venue on the screen. Once we've discovered and cataloged hotspots, we can rate the hotspot performance based on criteria such as signal strength, speed, bandwidth availability, connection success rate, time of day, day of week, a lot of different metrics to see when is this network performing, how is it performing, and when should we attempt to move one of our users onto this network to give them the best possible experience. There are a number of use cases. For our partners, as we mentioned, they can optimize their network performance. So they can do a site survey of their venue and understand what the access point and what their Wi-Fi network is doing, but what was the quality of the user experience when they were trying to connect there? You know, how long did it take to associate to that network? What type of device were they on? Android likes a certain signal strength. Windows likes a different signal strength. iOS likes, or iPhones like a different signal strength. So take all of those different variables into consideration and overlay that information on top of what they already know about their network and help them understand more what was the quality of that user experience. It goes to hotels as well. Hotels list Wi-Fi as a top customer satisfaction key indicator. If Wi-Fi is bad at your hotel, users don't like your hotel. They don't stay there. So being able to take this information and overlay it on a venue to help them understand what was the quality of the user experience in their room, in the lobby, in the hallway, in the weight room, in the exercise room, wherever they may be, out by the pool, and really help them improve that quality of service by using the data and the analytics in near real time to help either alert the iPass operations team that there may be an outage at that venue. It could be that we alert our partner that they're encountering an issue. It might be an issue we find with our software. So we're using the analytics to actually look at our software, and that's driving new enhancements to the product and the feature set. And they want to, there are several network operators like British Telecom, AT&T, all of the big network operators who are looking as cellular spectrum becomes more and more difficult to compete with as the number of devices expand. They're looking to use Wi-Fi to offload their cellular traffic to reduce costs, to gain additional bandwidth where available. And to do that, they need to understand the network and the characteristics of that network. They don't want to offload cellular data onto a poor performing Wi-Fi network. That really defeats the purpose, and it's a horrible user experience. So by using our Veri-Fi platform, which is doing the quality of service and the ranking and the scoring of these networks, we can now provide feedback to these network operators to help them make a decision, and for us to help make a decision, should I leave this user on their Wi-Fi connection? Should I put them back onto their cellular connection? And what is the cost consideration? So the next steps for iPass are to go beyond just being the Wi-Fi connection manager, but really building intelligence into the connection between Wi-Fi and all other types of bearers. So, but to do that, for us to be able to provide this seamless Wi-Fi roaming experience and to really make a smarter decision for the user, we have to do several things, which is, one is build a quality of service database for our networks. We really need to understand exactly how each network is performing and be able to add and remove footprint on the fly in real time when we're having problems, so that we're not continually trying to connect to a Wi-Fi network and breaking your Skype for business session, and we should have been keeping you on your cellular service so we don't interrupt your call, because maybe the quality of that network wasn't good, maybe it was down earlier in the day. So really understand what is the quality of the service that user is trying to connect to. And then by collecting this data and by having more users and more usage and growing our footprint, and the analytics coming in allows us to continuously improve our knowledge of our space, and to continue to apply analytics and machine learning and natural language processing to our platform, so that we can find the patterns, find the anomalies, really understand what it is going to take to create this most seamless Wi-Fi roaming experience for the user, by finding all of these different variables in the network, and either using those internally, again for us operationally, using those to help drive development of the platform, or to escalate out to our partners to help them to provide a better service.
Just breaking in here, Keith, I think people have lost the screen. Is there an issue with your?
Let me reshare it and see if that helps. And then part of the unlimited package as well is auto-connect. So this may or may not be a feature that you currently use. Auto-connect previously, before unlimited, had a cost impact, which meant that whenever we saw a Wi-Fi network that was in our network, we would just connect to it. If the user didn't want to connect to it, it wasn't consciously wanting to connect to it, there was a cost implication because we would charge for that usage. Under the unlimited plan, you get unlimited usage, so we're enabling auto-connect by default, which even when the user is, say, not looking to connect to Wi-Fi, maybe they have some other file, maybe they were offline, maybe they didn't have an email that could be sent because the attachment was too big, we connect them to Wi-Fi automatically. Their client can now send the message, upload the image, do whatever they needed to do online without the user really having to take any action. We will just auto-connect them based on the SmartConnect response and knowing the quality of that network and the quality of service that user is going to encounter by using that network. And then improved connection success means fewer calls to IT, to the help desk. For us, it's really important that, one, we can successfully connect the user. That drives more usage, which won't be a problem for you because we're doing unlimited, but we really want to drive the usage. We want to drive more sessions. We want to drive the users relying on our application and relying on iPass more. The more the users use our service, the smarter we get, the more analytics we receive, the more intelligence we can build around those analytics, the better job we can do, and then the better connection success we can provide. So it's this circular environment where the more data we have, the smarter we get, the better experience we have, and it just keeps feeding off itself. So let's look at what the user experience would be, particularly when you're in a metropolitan area and you're likely to have multiple choices for connectivity. iPass identifies underperforming hotspots and removes them from the network. So this is where we see a network and we're having some reports of this network not working. This could be a user called in, but more than likely with our analytics in the real time, this is going to be, we know this network is having a problem. This will be an actionable event to our operations team who would contact that supplier. If it happens to be an open or amenity Wi-Fi, curated Wi-Fi, then we would in real time be able to remove that network and blacklist it in our environment, so that the SmartConnect platform would stop trying to connect to it. In that instance, they would leave the device on the cellular plan. They would still have their data access through the cellular plan, and when that network comes back online, when the issue is corrected, then once again that gets whitelisted in our platform, once again becomes available and is available for connection options. And part of that is our self-learning algorithm of really finding out which networks are performing well, which networks are not, and it's that knowledge, real-time knowledge of the hotspot performance. You might have the option to connect to a hotspot that is a regular good performer, but it could be congested, right? So if you're in a hotel at 10 a.m. in the morning, you probably have really good connectivity. But if you're there at 8 p.m. at night, it could be that that network is really slow and not performing well because everyone else is uploading PowerPoints or doing voice calls or watching YouTube videos, whatever it might be. They're congesting that network. So how does that network perform at that time of day, that day of the week, that week of the year? How does that relate to the cellular performance that we see in that environment, and really make an intelligent decision on how and when to move that user? And again, back to SmartConnect, really being able to have profiles for your company, for your users, to help us determine what decisions we should be making, how aggressive we should be moving to Wi-Fi versus staying on cellular. And iPass finds the the hotspot that will provide the best user experience based on usage needs and automatically connect you. So that's really when we talk about SmartConnect and the connection intelligence and what is the actual quality of the user experience that they see. It's one is we're going to try to take out the bad networks and remove that poor user experience of not being connected or not being able to connect. We're using the data to help us drive those best performance decisions, and ultimately the user gets connected to the right network when they need to be connected, and the service provides them basically an invisible, very simple and intuitive utility-like interface that doesn't require them to enter credentials or any personal information. So free Wi-Fi isn't free. So now that we have moved from not only offering high-quality commercial Wi-Fi connectivity through major network operators around the world, we are also integrated with this amenity curated free Wi-Fi. And with that comes some risks. A lot of us have probably heard, or a lot of you have heard, about the risks of using free Wi-Fi. It ranges from man-in-the-middle attacks to identity spoofing, spying, tracking by advertisers and ISPs. So really anything you do at a public Wi-Fi hotspot needs to be secured. You don't want to be doing anything over the clear, even something as innocuous as searching in Google for, say, your hotel, searching for other information. That information can be grabbed by hackers and people spoofing and sniffing on the Wi-Fi network to do some social engineering to find out information about you, maybe where you're staying, other information about which company you work for. All sorts of bad things have happened. A lot of financial risk as well. A lot of people have been hacked and their bank accounts hacked through the public and free Wi-Fi space. And the other thing with free Wi-Fi is it takes a lot of time and effort to find, and because of the reasons above, you never really know which network you're truly connecting to, right? It's really easy to go out and spoof a Starbucks, Google Wi-Fi network and get people to connect to it, and then start asking for passwords and credit cards and other information. The user's in a hurry. They don't really know. They just found this network. Hey, I've got to get some work done. I'm going to connect to it. And now they've exposed themselves. And it can introduce inconveniences, pop-ups, spam, things that last a long time. In fact, we had someone connect to a free network in our company. They had to enter their phone number for gaining access to that Wi-Fi network, and now they get text message spam all the time, and are probably going to have to change their phone number coming from some foreign country. So it really isn't free. And so in our research, there's been an estimated 37 million users worldwide and 4.5 million Americans that were a victim of this phishing man-in-the-middle attacks. And meaning payment details were stolen or hacked from the computers, smartphones, or websites. And the report shows that the digital identity fraud is an increasing common problem through these public spaces, and that hackers and cyber criminals find it really pretty easy pickings. And the prevalence of the open, unprotected Wi-Fi networks, really makes life extremely easy for them. In addition to all of those things, it puts corporations and businesses at risk, and not just the personal information, but transferring documents and data across the network. Open networks runs the same risk for the businesses. So what we've added into our base offering with the unlimited, everywhere, and invisible is a last mile security platform. When a connection request is initiated from a device running the iPass client, an encrypted and secure tunnel is created so that the data is transferred from the internet to the device that is protected. Without it, you're vulnerable to all the things we talked about in the previous slide, as well as software virus and malware infection. iPass helps eliminate these man-in-the-middle, free, open, public Wi-Fi hotspot vulnerabilities. If you have a corporate VPN, of course, we encourage you to use it as it secures the connection between you and your corporation. With our last mile VPN, what we're doing is we're encrypting and protecting the distance between the user's device and an iPass VPN server. So if you see the image at the top, it says corporate VPN. We're connecting all the way back to your corporation, to your enterprise. With our last mile VPN, the bar on the bottom, we're connecting the user back to a known good iPass VPN server and then putting the user on the internet. So what does this do? This helps prevent the man-in-the-middle attacks. It helps prevent the sniffing and the phishing and the hacking that can be done at that public hotspot, encrypts all of that traffic all the way back to the VPN server, and really ensures that that user is not going to expose any sensitive personal or corporate information. A survey we did with the 500 CIOs and IT decision makers from the US and UK, Germany, and France shows that only 26% of the people surveyed are 100% confident that they're using a VPN every time they go online. The Netherlands National Cybersecurity Center, division of the Ministry of Security and Justice, did issue the following advice in vain. It's not advisable to use open Wi-Fi networks in public places. If these networks are used, work or financial related activities should be avoided. And iPass is really working to eliminate those risks because we all understand the problem. Your users are in a hurry, they're traveling, they're in unfamiliar surroundings, maybe they're even in a unknown or an unfamiliar location in their home area, and they just need to get connected. They need to get connected to do their job, to do their work. And again, going along with being everywhere and invisible, we want to get them connected, we want to be invisible, but at the same time we want to protect their data in transit, make sure that they're not exposed. If we are connecting them through our platform to an open, free network, we want to make sure that we're helping protect that data and not having the user have to even think about, well, am I protected? Am I secure? Should I be connecting here? This really helps take the risk out of all of those decision points that they have to make. And so lastly, how do I get iPass Smart Connect? So it is available in all of our platforms. Mac has just shipped, so we need to update this slide, so I'll make sure that we do that. The current versions of Android and iOS in the App Store today have the iPass SmartConnect client already. So if you have users on either of those platforms, it's more than likely that they have the SmartConnect platform and that they are receiving the benefit of having the connection intelligence. And on Windows, you would contact your CSM, and we've just announced the Windows 2.7 version, and that is a iPass SmartConnect enabled client. It'll continue to do the corporate VPN connectivity, but at the same time it does the last mile VPN connectivity as well. So if you are a smaller organization or if your company doesn't provide an enterprise VPN solution, you can use the iPass last mile VPN on all of our platforms to make sure that your data is encrypted in transit. So thank you very much for joining and for listening to the presentation. I'll turn it back over to the moderators now and see if we have any questions.
Thank you, Keith. Does anyone have questions? You can write them in the chat box, and we will answer them one by one. We don't see any questions, so oh, we do. Greg Savoy has a question. The question is, how do I find out if my current client supports this new platform?
That is a good question. So I think what we can do is I'll work with product and marketing, and we'll send out the versions that contain the iPass client with SmartConnect. There are a couple of different versions. Windows 2.6 and 2.7 support it, and there's a few different versions of iOS and Android that support it as well as the Mac client. So we'll get that out to this distribution list. And then one thing we didn't go through while we're waiting for the next question to come in, for the last mile VPN on Android and iOS, it's actually a nice interface that we've built. What it does is when on install, it prompts the user and asks if they want to install the last mile VPN portion of our client. If they accept that, then they end up with a little lock on their screen. So as we connect to an iPass-enabled Wi-Fi hotspot, we give the user the ability to basically connect and turn the VPN service on. There's also a setting for the administrator's console through the iPass portal that allows us to turn that on by default. So the user would be able to accept the service and install the secure client, and then for all future attempts based on the company policy, we would by default enable that last mile VPN for the public Wi-Fi hotspot protection. And we also provide the hotspot protection even over our commercial networks. So just because we're connected to an Xfinity Comcast Wi-Fi or British Telecom or Deutsche Telekom in Germany, we're still pinning up the VPN connection to protect the data in transit even over those commercial networks.
We have another question. Does corporate VPN traffic travel over the last mile VPN or just follow my corporate VPN?
Yeah, so let me jump back to that slide real quick. Oh, there it was. If you're using a corporate VPN, then you would not necessarily want to use the last mile VPN. The last mile VPN is really for when you're in a position where you don't have a corporate VPN enabled. Now, if you don't have a corporate VPN for your Android and iOS clients, and you only have corporate VPN for your Windows platforms, then yes, you can use those in conjunction. So the Android and iOS would connect last mile VPN through iPass, and your Windows laptop users would connect to the corporate VPN directly back to your corporation. Hopefully that answers your question.
I don't see any more questions. We'll wait a few more seconds just in case. Okay, assuming we don't have any more questions, I want to thank everybody for joining us today, and thank Keith for joining us all the way from Germany. He had a last-minute business trip to Germany, so thank you for patching in from there. We will send out a recording of the webinar to each of you, and we will also, as Keith mentioned, we'll follow up with a list of the versions that support iPass SmartConnect for each of our attendees. Thanks again for joining us, and if you have any other needs, please contact your CSM, and we will get you going in the right direction. Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.